Dark ride through the city. Dark ride through the city of Chicago. I'm on Racine right now. Going south, 89th and Racine at the moment. I just wanted to talk about my time in Chicago. Just chronicling it while I'm riding through here. I went to the Paul Simon Chicago Job Corps. And, being from Gary, I spent a lot of time in Chicago as a child, but really not knowing where the fuck I was at. Really not knowing where, the history of the parts of town I was in, specifically the south side, the west side of Chicago, and the traditionally black neighborhoods. A lot of the names of those neighborhoods escape me right now. I don't know them, but I know where they at. Now, but when I was a kid, I didn't. Your parents or your family just take you somewhere, and that's just where you at. You don't know where the fuck you are. You ask questions, they ain't answering questions, because, fuck you, little nigga. But when I started going to Job Corps, when I was 17 or 18, that's when I really started getting my little Chicago education. And that's when I started branching out and flirting with the different neighborhoods and taking the red line, the blue line, green line, whatever, to get to where I was trying to go. And hanging around in the streets with different characters from different gangs, different organizations, different sects, mainly the Gangster Disciples, but also hung around with some BDs, some folk on the hustlers, some vice lords, some insanes, some conservatives, even some Latin kings. I don't know if there are different sets of Latin kings like there are, vice lords. They was just Latin kings as far as I was concerned. Whatever little branch they were. About living in Chicago in 2005, 2004, 2005. The city was a city in a lot of ways now. Culturally, it hasn't changed. There are some things that have. Just from my observations, I'm just gonna talk about how life was at Job Corps, Paul Simon Chicago Job Corps. I actually went there with one of my best friends. Out of respect for him, I'm not gonna tell you his name, but if anybody watches this, they know who I'm talking about. We don't use his nickname though. We can call him Six. But me and Six, we went to Horse Band together. We really got really close and shit. You know what I'm saying? And some situation went down. He got kicked out of his mama's house, had to live with his grandmother, who happened to live in Chicago, Gold Coast area. And while he was living there, I went to Job Corps. And then he ended up coming to Job Corps too. So we both went to Horse Band, and then we both ended up going to Job Corps. We were out of high school, He was like 1 or 2 years older than me, or whatever, but, we were around the same age group, from the same hood, with the same people, and we both experienced Job Corps together. We were from Gary, living in Chicago, the Job Corps facility off of Kedzie, like 30 something in Kedzie, 33rd in Kedzie, or something like that. In the middle of two hoods. Now, one of those hoods was had 26, 26 in Kedzie, 26 in that was the boundary line between the 2-6 gang and the Latin Kings. But there weren't 2-6s operating off of 26 in Kedzie. It was Latin Kings operating off of 26 in Kedzie. Yeah, it was weird. Because you leave the Job Corps facility and you go up Kedzie, north. You hit 26th Avenue in Kedzie, it's all Latin King shit up there. At least it was while I was there. All Latin Kings. And the laundromat, Latin Kings. The corner store, Latin Kings. The Burger King, Latin Kings. The gas station, Latin Kings. Everything was Latin King. And we black, and Latin Kings don't like blacks in general. But we folks, we gangster disciples of Latin Kings really don't like folks. No matter the race or the creed. But you being black and folks, oh shit. It was just a recipe for disaster every time. We always got into it. Well, not us, not me and Six, but blacks. The black street ninjas. Street niggas. I was living on the Job Corps facility campus. We had to go to 2-6, you know, so that we could get supplies and shit. It's one of the closest little retail areas around Job Corps. 2-6. Now it's the closest one, and that's the one niggas was always getting fucked up at. Nobody got shot over there, not while I was there anyway, but as far as getting beat up, or they get guns pulled on them, you know. But they be getting beat up, getting shot at, but definitely getting their ass beat out there. And it ain't had nothing to do with somebody being a punk ass nigga or nothing like that. Alright? You get your ass whooped, it ain't got nothing to do with you being a fucking punk. 9 times out of 10, they not fighting you one-on-one, they jumping you. You know, and strength come in numbers, and they don't give a fuck how connected you are on the street or how experienced you are with the street shit. Or, you know, they don't give a fuck about what your rank is in the Gangster Disciples or the BDs or whatever. Hell, they ain't like Vice Lords. Because they were black. But they were in the same nation. And the fucking Kings was ruthless, but wasn't nobody scared of them too at the same time. You know? They got their respect from us as far as knowing that they about that shit. Well, we wasn't scared of they motherfucking ass. And just being young adults, young black adults living in that environment and having to be so close to the Latin Kings on 26. It presents you with a fucking challenge, but you had to do it. You had to go to those places because they were close. You had to go and enter the Latin King because everything you wanted was in their fucking hood. Now you could have went south on Kedzie, where the avenue numbers start going up. Instead of going from 33rd to 26th, you going from 33rd to like, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70. So from 33rd going south, you're in the 2-6 hood, right? Like I said, I don't know if it's this way now, because I'm not in the street. I'm not even paying attention to where the hoods are anymore or what gang is whatever, because everything is switched up. You know what I'm saying? But traditionally, that area, Kersey, 33rd, 34th, 35th, 36th, 36th, whatever, going up. That was the 2-6 hood. And the 2-6s, they were ruthless too, but they were approachable. You know what I'm saying? They were, I wouldn't say more organized, but they were, I should say they weren't welcoming per se. They were more approachable. They were more modern. And 2-6 was folks too. So us being GDs, which is in the folks nation as well, you know, kind of got a half-ass pass to come through their hood without getting fucked with. And just because you in the folks nation don't mean you not getting fucked with. You know what I'm saying? If you go to another team's hood. Plus, the 2-6s are mostly Latin. So, you know, there is that element there where they don't really like niggas like that as well. But it's way less severe than dealing with the same type of situation with Latin Kings. You know. So we would go to this liquor store that was on Kedzie. There was a 2-6 in the 2-6 hood. And that's where we get our beer and our Wild Hours rolls or whatever the fuck we was gonna drink if we didn't bring it from Gary. It was actual like 2-6 niggas just hanging out in the fucking liquor store, you know. And we run into them and we shake up with them or whatever and be talking business with them, you know. And they knew we wasn't from that hood. They knew we was from the Job Corps. You know what I'm saying? So some of them would just be giving pointers. Hey, don't go to this block because them niggas over there be doing this. But don't go down this street because these niggas down there be doing this. And they be looking out for you, you know. But at the same time, you have to be careful because it might seem like some of them might be looking out for you, but at the same time, they might be setting you up, you know what I'm saying, to get robbed, you know. So they tell you some legit advice like, hey, don't go down such and such block and street because them niggas over there doing that. Go down this street. It's safer down this street. You ain't got to worry about XYZ on this street. So what he might be saying about not going to that particular street might be genuine. You know what I'm saying? That is the true part of it. The untrue part of it would be the alternative street that he told you to take. You know, because that's the street where they be plotting and setting up to rob motherfuckers. And it might not necessarily be because you black. Some of it might be, you know, but most of the time it's not. They was saying any motherfucker that they think they could get $1 off of or hit a lick off of real quick down these particular avenues. And then a motherfucker end up taking those avenues and getting popped off. Not shot, but getting robbed. Gunpoint, whatever. Might even get your ass beat out there. But then they see you, you know, you go out there later and see you and shake up with you and show you love. I had to get you. But you still walking through the hood, but I had to get you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, God damn. Ruthless shit. These niggas will rob you today. See you tomorrow and shake your motherfucking hand like ain't nothing happened. But those situations, I wouldn't say they were rare, but they happen less frequently versus going north, fucking with the Latin Kings. Now, the Job Corps campus, like I said, sat right in between the Latin King hood and the 2-6 hood. You know, so a lot of them were on the campus as well, living together in the dorms or whatnot. And on the campus, it was relatively a peaceful situation. You know, wasn't nobody fucking with another motherfucker because of what gang they were in, not between blacks and Latins. But the 2-6s and the Latin Kings, who are from that area, they might get into it over some shit. You know what I'm saying? And we stayed clear of that shit. Don't get us involved. We didn't get ourselves involved in that shit. Because we have to leave the campus and walk through their motherfucking hood. Either one, Latin King or 2-6. You know, so you had to be careful, man. You know, because like I said, 2-6s fucked with us more. So if we had a homie that was 2-6 on the campus, you know, and he didn't talk to his block people and they didn't gave you permission to go through their hood, whatever. And then that person, and that King say, when you come to this campus, I'm gonna shoot your bitch ass. And then they come to you, this 2-6 come to you and ask you for help. And you like, whoa, this is fucked up. You know? Cause you ain't from that motherfucking hood. Why would you, or why would we shed our blood helping your motherfucking ass? This your hood. We gotta leave the campus too, so if we seen with you leaving the campus, and they done said, when you leave campus, we gonna pop your bitch ass, they gonna pop us too. Ain't no innocence in that shit. They ain't gonna say don't shoot them niggas cause they ain't with such and such. You getting your ass popped just off of the fact that you with them. Now they shoot at each other all the time, 2-6s and Latin King. It was always shootings going on. Always. Forever shootings. But they were shooting at each other. The Latins versus the Latins. Like, they were shooting at each other. They wasn't necessarily aiming to shoot at niggas unless niggas was fucking with them. Or if they told niggas, you ain't walking down here. And then nigga be like, man, fuck that. I'm gonna walk where the fuck I wanna walk. And then end up getting spotted, getting their ass popped at. Like, that's the only, I can say it's the only real situations that will come up where a nigga get popped, shot at. You know, if they told your ass don't come through this hood, and you came through any motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? You subject to leave with an extra hole in your ass. Chicago, chapter. So, you know, right now I'm on 95th and Commercial. Almost back to Indiana where I want to be. You know, so it was this delicate line that we had to walk being black. Like I said, me and my boy 6, we were together in this shit. You know, and the way that we move, just in basic, and I really don't want to speak for 6 all that much because he has his own process. He do shit. You know, sometimes I was with it. But I'm going to speak for me. You know, for me, the way I processed the shit was, I just treated people the way that I wanted to be treated. And it was just basic shit just like that. Basically, that's how I handle it. You know what I'm saying? If you show respect, you show love and respect and, you know, reverence for the hood that you in, what I'm saying? And for the people in those hoods that are doing shit, whether they're legitimate or not, if you show respect, the proper type of respect to those people, 9 times out of 10, as far as getting a pass to go in these people's hood to do shit, whatever it is, go to Burger King, fuck a bitch, or whatever the case may be, 9 times out of 10, you get a pass, and you won't get fucked with, And that's how I handled the shit. And I never had a problem with anybody from the 2-6 hood or the Latin King. And getting the pass from the Latin Kings was hard, man. Like, cause they don't fuck with niggas. Like I said, they don't fuck with us. They don't fuck with black people. Excuse me. So if you ain't somebody with some rank, that they could kind of half-ass, treat you like a human being, if you ain't a motherfucking governor or chief, or general or some shit like that in your gang, you really ain't really got a lot coming from any member of the Latin King. You know what I'm saying? Unless you fuck with them on a personal level, in like such as Job Corps, where you don't have a choice but to fuck with them, because and he don't have a choice to fuck with you, I should say, because he living with you. So there's gonna be some kind of interaction, regardless if he wants to interact with you or not. That's just the nature of dorm life. And Job Corps was like one step from jail. You know what I'm saying? Next step was Cook County Jail, which is on 26 in California. Another place everybody go. But, just to be personable and peaceful while living in the dorm at Job Corps, the Latin Kings had to interact with us. I'm on Ewing Street and Indianapolis Boulevard, almost back to the state of Indiana. But, like I said, getting the pass from the Latin King is hard. So I got a pass. But I didn't take a lot of stake in that pass, I should say. I didn't really respect that pass I got, because this dude just, hey, shut your cool motherfucker, man. I'm gonna talk to my people. I'm gonna get you a pass. You can come to the hood. And he would leave the campus and go talk to these people, according to him, to come back and say, yeah, you got the pass. But I didn't really trust it, I didn't trust it. I would trust it politically on the campus. This nigga gave me a pass. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Come on over here, man. I got you. Or, you know what I'm saying? He do the same shit or whatever on the campus. But as far as trusting that out in the street, I never went to the Latin King hood trying to fuck on a bitch or something, and a motherfucker come up to me and be like, why you fucking with this bitch, nigga? Niggas ain't loud out down here. And then I say, I got a pass. What? A pass from who, motherfucker? I ain't give it to you. You know what I'm saying? You just can't trust it. Because the motherfucker say, hey, you got a pass. You can come to my hood. My hood is X block and such avenue. You come there anytime you want. You be like, all right, bet. Then you go out there and then he rob your ass. Or you get your ass beat or jumped. Or if you try to buy a pistol or something from a motherfucker out there, and they end up fucking robbing your motherfucking ass with that same pistol. But they lured you out there with this idea of giving you a pass. I just didn't trust those little passes. But even if the pass was legit, the one that I got from dude was legit. You know, it's hard to get one of them to say that shit to you. You know, or to get a legitimate pass. It's hard to get one. Just because off of the caveat of them not fucking with niggas like that. You know, so it was a fine line that you had to walk. And this is a part of the way that I process living on the Job Corps campus. You know, because there were times where I needed supplies on the campus or whatever. I didn't really have a lot of money, you know, to go extra far out, like to the mall or to Walmart or whatever the fuck. And the closest option was to go to the Latin King Hood and shop at the stores out that way. You're really taking a chance. You know what I'm saying? You're taking a chance because, you know, it's a Latin hood. Niggas ain't really like welcome out there like that. It could be different now, I don't know. But, you know, back in 04, 05, you know, niggas wasn't really welcome into the Latin hoods like that. They look at you like you don't fucking belong here. You know what I'm saying? And you probably don't. You know. But because you stayed nearby and they get all the restaurants and the stores and shit that's close to the Job Corps campus, you really had to go out there and fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? You had to get out of traffic with them. And it was just something that you had to find a way to deal with. Now, black, excuse me. Black women, they're women, so you know they weren't really fucked with like that. If you was a black dude, you was a nigga, you was a black swinging dick, you had to be careful, man. Unless you was just a straight up Peabody looking motherfucker, straight square looking motherfucker, and they just knew off of that, oh, this nigga fucking square, you know, like they ain't fucking with niggas like that. You like a fucking nerd. They call it a neutron. You know, they wasn't really fucking with. I mean, those type of niggas are neutron niggas. They weren't getting fucked with. Not a lot. You still might because you're black. They might be like, you know, treat you kind of racist out there. You know, take too long with your order or whatever the case may be, or question you about, you know, what you're buying while you're shopping or whatever, and just hanging out at the Burger King, you know. They didn't have Wi-Fi or nothing like that in the Burger Kings back then. So if you were out there with a group of friends hanging out, they might, you know, hey, y'all gotta get out of here, y'all gotta go. Or something like that. I mean, Whiting right now. It's just a weird situation. You know, the gang shit and the racism that comes along with the gang shit, trying to navigate all these different traps and try to keep yourself out of the webs that were wove to, you know, take advantage of niggas who's living on that campus and trying to be outside of it. You know, it was, if niggas was smart, they knew goddamn well they didn't do no shopping or nothing out there, you know what I'm saying? Unless you at a location that is relatively safe. So like one of those locations that was relatively safe in between the Lag King Hood and the 26 Hood was the bus stop. And it's not the fact that it was a bus stop. it was a turnaround point for the CTA buses. And I think there was some kind of maintenance or something facility. It was small at this turnaround point. So there was always a lot of city officials and CTA motherfuckers out there. And then next to that was a gas station. And it was like a mobile, I think. And it was just a place where people converged, especially people that are waiting on buses to get from one point to another. So those type of areas, so that particular area right there was relatively safe. You didn't really have to worry about Black Kings fucking with you. 2-6 didn't fuck with you. You know, like assault you or nothing like that. It was the Black Kings doing that shit. You really didn't have to worry about it too much. So they seen a lot of niggas hanging out at that bus stop or at that gas station, which just happened to be in the 2-6. The Black Kings will ride by, and then they'll, you know, yell out their window or something. Don't come to 26 or don't go to that Burger King, nigga. Don't go out there. They'll tell you straight up like that, don't go. Man, this shit was fucking crazy. That gang shit is so fucking stupid, man. I gotta do some shit. I ain't used to all this live streaming and all this TikTok shit. I'm not even really used to like talking on camera like this live for this long. Really not. I'm stopping to get me something to drink because I keep doing that type of shit. I'm at this BP in Whiting. One of my favorite ones because they sell my favorite energy drink flavor in here. So that's another reason why I'm stopping here. Give me what I usually get here, some water. My little energy drink.
How you doing? Can I have a pack of Maverick menthol shorts and a pack of Newport shorts?
No problem, no problem. How you doing, man? I'm doing. Can I get 2 packs of Maverick menthol 100, please? Thank you. Thanks, boss. You got a bag? Thank you. Have a great night. Now, so chronicling this little bullshit car, this little bullshit Jeep I got. Because in a few weeks, maybe, it might be getting repoed. I hate this fucking car. They might be doing me a favor. But yeah, living in Chicago during that time, doing what I was doing at Job Corps, you know, was definitely a learning experience as far as navigating different types of gangs, and then learning how to square that with the gang and street shit that I grew up with living in Gary. So, first of all, I just want to say if you're in the street, or even like semi in the street from Gary, 9 times out of 10, the shit that you experience here, you're going to see it in other cities. And when they come up, you just recognize it immediately and you just fucking know what to do. Or you fucking know exactly what's going on. And you fucking know how to handle it immediately. And that's why motherfuckers from Gary can survive no matter where they go. And it's not necessarily the same way for niggas from other cities. Like if a Chicago nigga moved to Gary, they might think Gary's country and slow compared to the city, you know, which it kind of is because we ain't no big city. Yeah, Gary, square foot wise, is just the size of a single hood in Chicago. You know, so our neighborhood divisions are a lot smaller than what is normally the situation for people who live in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they might not know how to micromanage streets the way that niggas from Gary can. Because we only have so much space. A nigga from Chicago can do some bullshit and hide in the same hood and in theory never be seen. Never get caught. He keep hiding, keep moving around in the same hood and not be spotted by nobody, you know what I'm saying? Just because their hood is the same size as the core of the city of Gary. So they can move like that out in the open, and 9 times out of 10 they're relatively safe. Now the motherfuckers who get caught are probably, you know, the type of motherfuckers that are asking for it anyway. And for whatever reason, they're inviting the trouble because they think they ain't untouchable, can't nobody do whatever, or they can do whatever to anybody else and not suffer any kind of consequences. Or whatever the case may be, still be seen in the hood when they know niggas trying to kill them. And all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going down Riley Road here. I'm gonna hit Dickey Road just so I can take my time, save on some gas a little bit. Shit is very tight now as far as money is concerned. Nigga ain't got no job. My next interview is like 13 days away, and then it's all the way in fucking Bensonville. Well, hey, it's out O'Hare Airport. Roseland, whatever the fuck that is up there. At American Airlines doing baggage shit. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna be able to drive from O'Hare to Gary every fucking day right now. Like, I have to find a way to live in my car up there. That's the only job that's smoking. You know, I don't want to stand up on my fucking feet for 12 fucking hours doing nothing. And those are the only type of jobs right now that are smoking in the Gary area. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not 20 years old, man. I'm 40, you know what I'm saying? Like, my body is not the fucking same. I'm 19, 20, 30, like, I can stand on my feet all goddamn day and work. Not just stand up, but stand on my feet and work. I can't do that shit now, man. I got fucking knees fucking bad, fucking bottoms of my feet, falling arches fucking up with me, my fucking right ankle fucking with me, and my fucking hips and back too. Like, nah, I'm just not, I don't have a 20-year-old body, man. I can't do those warehouse jobs where I stand on my feet like that. There's older guys that can do it, but I don't come from that. You know, like if I had done those type of jobs, warehouse jobs where you're on your feet for fucking 12 hours out the fucking day, and that's all the fuck I did from teenage to 40, and my body would be conditioned to that type of work, and there would be no fucking problem 9 times out of 10 with working those types of shifts and doing that type of work, packing or whatever, you know. With my jobs, like I was a conductor on the train, you know what I'm saying? And the full ride from South Bend to Chicago is like 2 and something hours. So that's mostly the amount of time that you're gonna be standing on your feet. Mostly is on that ride is about 2 hours. And then, you know, maybe about an hour or something back. You know. Damn. I drink something. But anyway, I'm on Dickey Road now, approaching Guthrie. Well, technically approaching Klein Avenue, but Guthrie's on the other side. Anyway, just the fact of me being 40 or almost 40, I'm jumping back into the workforce. And I can't do that 12-hour shit standing up on my. I can't do it. And most of the temp agencies that I'm looking at, that's all they have. Warehouse bullshit gigs where you have to stand on your goddamn feet for 12 hours. They be so excited when they call. Hey, we found a job for you. It's at this warehouse. It's 12-hour shift. Nah, man, I ain't trying to work no fucking 12 hours. Now, it might be motherfuckers that might be cool with that. You know, I ain't knocking nobody for doing it, because, you know, if that's something that you can handle, then handle it. Be my guest, but I'm just not the one. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to work 12-hour shifts. I don't want to work 12-hour shifts. Well, I have to stand on my feet the whole goddamn time. I don't want to stand on my feet for fucking 12 hours. I don't want to do it. Caught me 15 years ago with that shit. I'm on Guthrie in East Chicago, anyhow. But yeah, man, like, so in Gary, the street shit that me and a lot of my peers had to deal with, you had 2 main gangs, and those gangs were Gangsta Disciple and Vice Lord. There weren't a lot of different denominations. Vice Lords, there were 2. You had your NC, then you had your conservatives, but there was more conservatives in Gary than, per se, East Chicago. I think East Chicago had a lot of insane Vice Lords. CVL, that's some Gary shit. Gary Vice Lords, mostly. And a lot of them were on 5th Avenue, the hood I'm from, in Gary, Indiana. Specifically 5th and Garfield. A lot of CVL and shit there. But I'm not CVL. No, I'm Gangsta Disciple. So growing up on Fifth Avenue, which is a vice lord gang neighborhood, and you Gangsta Disciple. And I've been like coming into my adulthood in like 91, 92, 93, 94, maybe even all the way up to like 2000. Had those been my 17, 18, 19-year-old years, I will probably be a dead motherfucker. Because ain't no way in the fuck my father would allow us to be vice lords. No fucking way. My father was Gangsta Disciple, throwing up them rakes. Ain't no fucking way we was gonna be claiming some motherfucking vice lord. Like, I can't even fathom the thought. The thought of it make me sick. You know? Ain't no way my father would have went for no bullshit like that. I'm just saying. You know, should my father have been advocating for his sons to be in gangs? No. But that just wasn't the nigga he was. By the time I was 15, my father had died. We really didn't have a relationship like that. Well, we even began to discuss talking about some shit like that. So you know, me being Gangsta Disciple is kind of like paying homage to my father. Kind of like respecting the legacy of his memory, if you will, by continuing to represent the same type of street philosophy that he represented. But as I say, by the time I got old enough to really decide for myself that that's what the fuck I wanted to do, however dumb it was, you know, he was gone. There was no rearing up in that life. I had to experience it on my own, by myself. There was no governors or chiefs or no shit like that guide me. Especially after the chairman got locked up. And, you know, that kind of put the brakes on a lot of the growth and development. By the time I was 19, 20, 21 years old, Gangsta Disciples, as far as leadership, just a shadow of his former self, and a lot of niggas were scattered around doing legit shit. I'm talking about like the leaders. Like they were doing legit shit. And they were trying to make it look like it was legit anyway. You know, there wasn't a lot of chiefs and you know, enforcers around Gary, you know, like in charge of what street niggas was doing on the Gangsta Disciple side. Wasn't a lot. I'm not saying it wasn't happening at all. On some levels it was, but in my walk it wasn't. Now, my uncle, he big time. Gangsta decided to cut that nigga by the blue. Gangsta to the core. Had I grew up under his wing with this gangster shit, it'd probably been a lot different as far as my walk with the Gangsta Disciples. But by the time I linked up with him, when I got grown, I was doing music or whatever, and that was what my main focus was. It wasn't being in the street doing gangster shit. I was fucking with street niggas, but I wasn't in the street per se. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I definitely wasn't trying to be no chief or good or enforcer or nothing. And I really didn't fuck with a lot of niggas like that, too. You know, like, I just don't fuck with it, man. I'm not saying I'm denouncing GD. I'm just saying there's a lot of niggas who do. I just don't fuck with it just because I'm Korry Shepard first. I don't give a fuck about no gangster GD, nothing. And if any other motherfucker want me to look at it different, it's just not gonna be looked at different by me because that wasn't my walk. I'm 40 years old now, so I ain't, I ain't got nothing to prove to no motherfucker. No, none of them. So, that ultra gangster shit, that was your walk, that was your life. I respect it for you. I respect it for you, but it ain't got shit to do with me. I move like Korry Shepard wanna move. I don't give a fuck about nobody's rules and regulations, nobody's point of view or philosophy. Cause I got my own. Cause I had to have my own. Cause I ain't had no choice but to have my own. Period. The way that I look at it is superior to the way that you look at it from my point of view. From your point of view, it's different. You might not give a fuck about nothing I'm saying as far as this is concerned, and that's fine. That's you. As long as you know Korry Shepard is gonna do Korry Shepard, and he don't give a fuck about nobody else's bullshit. He don't. As long as you can respect that, I can respect you and the shit that you represent and stand for. You know what I'm saying? I got my brother slated to work on my car sometime in the morning. I gotta get this back brake. It's just grinding like a motherfucker. I don't know what it's doing to that fucking caliper. It's horrible. I ride down fucking Loomis in Chicago, brakes is grinding loud as fuck, middle of the night. I'm like, fuck it. I'm making this $5 shit. I'm Ubering, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna make this $5. I don't give a fuck. Let them brakes squeal. That's the sound of some money being made. $5, nigga. $5, 49 cents, nigga. Not even 50 cents. 49 cents. 49 of them. Down Loomis in Chicago. I'm here. Like squeaking like a bitch. I'm about to drop these squares off at my brother's spot. Then go park in front of my house and sleep for however long it takes until my brother called me and let me know he can do my break. I know that job probably take 30 or 40 minutes if everything go right. I just hope it ain't too damaged to the point where he can't fix it. Pulling up to my brother's spot now. Make this young drop off. $4:31 in the morning, 2025, July, whatever date it is. Fuck this place. I mean it. Gary, Indiana is just not a spot to come up here. It's a spot you can lay back in once you get your shit together. Live like a king when you got some money out here. But trying to get it from the bottom, legit. Yeah, that CCA song. Still impossible to catch the dream you're chasing after. With every step forward, feel like 20 back. Still that way. Still that way.